Well, hello, Arish, agus fáilteiste agagran Ella, the music at Maddens. Welcome to our weekly podcast from the snug upstairs here in Maddens Bar in Belfast, which is the home of traditional music in the city. And I'm Lynette Fay, and each week I get to have the chats with members of the traditional music family, and there's no shortage of stories or crack. I have a funny feeling that today it will definitely live up to that. But thanks very much for listening. And if you're discovering the podcast for the first time, we have an ever-growing back catalogue of episodes, so you might want to have a listen to those, and do rate the podcast and subscribe for us as well, because it all helps. We do need your support to keep this going, folks. So you can subscribe to our new Patreon page. You can find the details on Instagram, Music at Maddens. If you're not following already, get busy. And then for the price of a coffee, even half a pint, you can access exclusive performances from some of our guests and some special offers as well. So sign up now. That's you told. Agus an teachtain seo, Jomuid blasta Uilleann agus Glasgow and seo sa snug. I know, agus lehead a crack of his own foster, Cathal Curráin Síle Friel fáilte roamh. So Cathal, if you're unfamiliar with him, Cathal banjo, although he is a multi-instrumentalist from Gidor, immersed in music from an early age, and now one of the busiest people in music. And his debut solo album, Curráin Síle, received rave reviews, and he won an RTE Folk Award off the back of that as well. So Garja has la Cathal. And then Sheila, another multi-instrumentalist here as well, uilleann pipes, flute, tin whistle, vocals, and along with sisters Anna and Claire, they are the Friel sisters, as they're in a mancher in the Rosses in the Donegal Gaeltacht, but born in Glasgow. And Sheila is also the dentist in Ardra.
That's correct.
Yeah, we have to mention it because it's going to come into the conversation. Yeah, patients, get busy, get watching. So anyway, how did the two of you know each other? How did you get to know each other?
I don't really even remember not knowing. Yeah. Well, we were always back and forth playing music, because we were born and brought up in Glasgow, but living at home now again in Donegal. But Cathal was just a permanent feature.
In Hudie's.
He just appeared in Hudie's one day. He just became like part of the seat, just came up, and it was Cathal Curráin. He's been ever since.
Yeah, and just kind of been there every Friday, and then during the summer, every weekend, seeing the Friels come in. Now, to be fair, the session would start at 10 o'clock, and you'd have a good tune, and you'd be winding down about 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock, about to go home, and then the Friels would land on the door.
Sure, we were coming from Glasgow.
Yeah.
So Mum and Dad always timed the boat. We'd get out of school straight away, onto the boat, do our homework on the boat. We knew everyone on the Stena line, and on occasion P&O, but mainly the Stena line. First name basis, really, and we'd land over then, and we would just get in on time for the end of the session. But I'd say Hugh must have been like, oh God, here they landed, because it's going to be another hour or two now.
And how often would you have done that journey?
Oh, really frequently. I remember some months, like when we were in high school, being 3 weeks out 4. Like, it was a lot, but at least once a month. Yeah.
And what was it? You know, because you're born and raised in Glasgow, you're living in Glasgow, going to school there. Why the need to come over, just so frequently?
Well, just we're so rooted there, just so connected. You know, Mum's family are from there in the Manchester, and her dad was from Annigra. And then Dad's people are Kerry-Keel in the east of the county. But we were always back and forth. We were just kept really connected to who we came from, and such a huge connection to Donegal and Glasgow. And it seemed like every second person we went to school with was some sort of Donegal connection. A couple of Mayo now, a couple of County Down. We can't forget them. But we just had a really tight connection to it. And we were lucky Mum and Dad kept us that way, because the amount of people that would say, oh, my granny's from Donegal. And we were straight away like, oh, where? And sure, they didn't know. Whereas we would know every
down
rock.
To the house.
Yeah, we know every rock round the house, so we were just lucky that way.
I know, that's so lovely to have had that connection, and almost like dual citizenship.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, because that's what you have now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I love Glasgow, and I'd never say a bad word about it. I know, like, it's just such a great city. It reminds me a lot of Belfast. There's real similarities. But, like, at the end of the day, we were Donegal people in Glasgow. And I hate when people try and put you down to, are you Irish, are you Scottish? Like, we're Irish people in Scotland. I'm never going to turn around and say Scotland's nothing to do with us. You know,
Yeah.
I love Scotland, but we are Irish people in
But
Scotland.
it is, anybody who hasn't explored it, like that relationship between Donegal and Glasgow, if you spend any time in Donegal at all, you understand just how
You do.
integral a part of the relationship it is. Like, people just come and go, and there's the constant, ebb and flow to and from Scotland.
Yeah, my own mother was born in Glasgow as well and lived there till she was 5 or 6 years of age before they moved back to Donegal as well.
Yeah.
So like, and I have still uncles and aunties and great uncles and aunties still living in Glasgow. Sometimes we have the argument whether that I actually have more relations in Glasgow than the Friels do. Which is funny. Just that connection between Donegal and Glasgow's still huge.
Yeah, it's lovely, but it's a home from home there,
It
isn't
is.
Oh, it is.
Definitely.
It is. And there's like people had to leave. It's not that they wanted to leave. And even though we're a generation or two down from that, like, that's still in you. You don't forget that. You hear when you're a child them talking about home like it was such, it was the most amazing place ever. And the thing is, it happens to be they were true. But like my husband's from Gweedore, and we met in the dental hospital in Glasgow. So it's like, it's not a past emigration. Like, it's, it's still happening, and you can hop on 2 different bus companies at home in like Crawley or Gweedore, and you'll end up in the city centre in Glasgow.
Sucky Hall Street.
Yeah. And that's like, you can get 2 different bus companies every day apart from a Tuesday, I think it is. And then with a flight as well, with, going back and forth. So there's such connection.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And then growing up in Glasgow, then traditional music's massive there as well.
Yeah.
There's a big scene, and that also then keeps you connected as well. And you were very much immersed in the Donegal tradition.
Oh yeah, yeah. But like, it would be mainly cultists based in Scotland or in Glasgow. But there are some people maybe who weren't so much involved in the cultists, but sometimes you feel like you're kind of rebelling a wee bit when you're playing Donegal music, because it's not necessarily fits that mold too easily.
Yeah.
But when in Glasgow, you're surrounded by Donegal people, so it was, there were so many of us that were playing that style and type of music that you didn't really feel, you mightn't have got medals for playing Donegal music, but you had your gang. And sure, that meant more than any medal. Like, the medals are in a drawer somewhere now, whereas the friendships, well, they're worth more.
And at the heart of this relationship is friendship as well.
Oh, yeah.
When you say you can't remember not knowing Cathal, he's saying the same thing about you. Because it does feel like you're an honorary member of the Friel sisters. You're like the wee brother.
That's how it feels as well.
Friel mister.
No, it definitely feels like that. And I think, like, I've known them for like 15, 20 years. I don't know.
Leading them astray.
Actually, talking about leading me astray, I think I've always known them coming into Hades, but there was one Easter, and Cathal and Curráin had just gotten engaged.
Yeah.
And Denny's pub in Glenties was celebrating 90 years of a pub, and I had never gone away without either my mother and father being with me. And I went into Hughes on Easter Sunday, and we had a few tunes in the morning, and the girls said, we're leaving this evening to go up to Denny's. And they persuaded my father to let me go. Anyway, all was going well. We went up to Denny's, and there was a great crew of people, and our good friends as well, the Campbells, Jimmy Campbell and Peter, were in playing, and then Flying as well, and Aidan O'Donnell, and a few others, and Tara Conahan, and Vincy, and then... But we were playing away, and next thing it all stopped, and this fella with the tape recorder came in, and he started stripping in the pub. And wasn't it Bernard McHugh? And down to the Speedos, and none of us knew where to look. So we started playing along. And I don't know what
his backing band.
And
was there a reason why he was stripping?
No, there was.
So Bernard McHugh, blind dates.
Yeah.
But like Donegal hero, really.
Local celebrity.
Oh, totally.
Fan
totally.
of the fashion.
The fashion and the fashion. But he, one of the local families, they had a big family wedding the following week.
Mm-hmm.
So this was their kind of The big kind of hoolie before the wedding. And it was a laugh to
Distant
get...
relations of myself, actually.
Yeah. And Tara Conan.
Yeah.
There's a theme here that you're related to everybody.
I swear you're from Donegal.
I know. But it was so funny. This was all going on, and we didn't know where to look, and then Jimmy Campbell was there, absolutely having a great time, and sure didn't he turn around at the end and says, "Sure, doesn't everyone have a talent?" And,
So wholesome.
yeah. And I think I landed home at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had a football match the next day, and I had 5 missed calls from my manager, and I never played a game of football since.
I don't.
That's our bad.
And that's where it all went wrong.
And that's where it went wrong for Donegal football as well. Hadn't got you. My goodness, you weren't turning out for Guidor, so
That's
you were
it.
all
Well,
here.
Guidor Glenty's coming up. You're in the wrong colours. We're both in the wrong
I
colours.
know, yeah.
I love it because then when you drill down into it's like everywhere else, the rivalry is there, but on the it's a big united front when you're talking about county. And I just love it. So you're talking there about the music and Hudies and playing the sessions. You always quote those sessions, Cathal, as being phenomenal in your progression as a musician. Well, what did you learn from the sessions, or how did you learn from the sessions? Couple of focal anish o locht ariha and fod crealta. Hatch on the Falls Road are proud sponsors of this week's Music at Maddens. Hatch is nestled along the charming Falls Road. It's not just a cafe, it's a thriving hub of warmth and community, and most importantly, exceptional food and drink. I know I have tried it many times, and Hatch manages to capture the essence of Ireland while adding this lovely unique twist using locally sourced ingredients that support farmers and producers, and the commitment to quality is what sets them apart and elevates a classic breakfast, lunch or dinner into a culinary experience. So beyond the delectable food and coffee, Hatch on the Falls Road is also a community space. It's where friends meet, families gather, and good conversations flow as freely as the coffee, and the welcoming atmosphere just invites you to sit back and relax and indulge in a little slice of life. So I encourage you all, if you haven't already, to visit Hatch on the Falls Road. Treat yourself to the best coffee and an unforgettable Irish breakfast. Experience the warmth of the staff, who are always ready to greet you with a smile and a recommendation. Avalon Guitars are proud to sponsor Music at Maddens. Still made by hand, still made to matter. And Avalon Guitars began with a simple belief that the soul of an instrument is shaped by the hands that built it. And in their workshop in Newton Ards and County Down, tradition and intuition guide every cut, carve and tap. There are no production lines, only luthiers, and every single piece of wood is chosen with care, every guitar voiced individually, every detail considered, not just for beauty, but for balance and for resonance and for feel. And Avalon guitars are played on stages and in studios across the world, but they're born in the quiet where craftsmanship still matters, built to last, built to inspire, built to become part of your story. AvalonGuitars.com for more details.
There was one thing about going to classes every week, but the actual experience of listening to people turn a tune in a session, and especially when you're amongst the likes of the girls, Mairead, Curráin, Stephen Campbell was always there as well, Garage, and kind of just being able to learn from them in the moment as well, as you kind of soak up everything as a child, I think, and as a kid, and it was kind of fundamental to my learning. And it's kind of, between that and the Crannog, those were the two places that I learned most of my music.
Tell me about the Crannog, because I remember there was a time in Donegal before the Crannog got set up and got going properly, and I'm sure people now in the locality don't even remember a time when it wasn't going because it's so part of the fabric of the area now. But there wouldn't have been much music about. You'd have had a few, you'd have had the odd person, and they would have went into Hudies, and then people would have come in from outside. But amongst the people of Guidor, you know, the music might have been there, but it wasn't le faca. You couldn't see it, you
No.
couldn't feel it. But in Crannog changed all of that.
Yeah, well, it was there, but like it was in, I suppose, in families, particularly the likes of the Brannans, the Moonies, and a few other families as well.
Yeah.
Kind of were central to music in Gweedore, and there was some classes, but maybe not as much as there was now, and maybe not as much of an interest within the community at that time. But there was a huge interest in marching bands, and my both aunties, Raigegus Kathleen and my father, PJ, would have went around between Cloughaneely, Bunninver, Gweedore, and like trained up all the bands. My dad was drummer and trained the drums, while Kathleen and Brage would have done the tunes, and mostly fife and some other bands as well. But they kind of did that up until the mid 2000s, and then in 2007, then with Corham and Forward of Gweedore, they decided to start a traditional Irish music summer camp first as a taster, and there was a huge demand for it, that they decided that they would do it on a yearly basis, and we had great people in the parish that were happy to teach as well, like your Niall Hackett's and your Connor Days, and Anne Marie Nicnealish agus Gagliardi Niele Fasta or Marie Nicnealish agus
So it
was
almost
kinda,
took something like that to galvanise what was maybe sleeping a wee bit
Yeah.
in the area, and then it brought a bit of a focus.
it did, and it's kind of enriched the community massively. The people who were part of the marching band, they were kind of the first generation of part of the of An Crannog agus Bidget own focus. It was more on singing at the start, because we didn't have the skills to play instruments, and as Clonny Curráin are kind of more known, I suppose, mostly known for their singing. Anyway, and their songs, and then with the work of the local musicians of the area came in and upskilled all the children, and it's kind of like grown every year, and you can see the improvements every year on the younger generation are getting better and better.
So let's see just how much it has improved. How many instruments do you play, Cathal?
No, I don't know. What a jack of all trades, master of none. But bouzouki, fiddle, and banjo would be probably the main ones.
Aye, they're the main ones, and voice as well.
Aye.
And then I'd say there are many others as well. You could just lift and get a tune
Yeah.
out of as well, because you're that talented.
Well, I don't know about that now, but
He's modest.
Put him on the spot sometimes. On stage, we'll always make him play the tin whistle. Or just because he can.
Yeah.
Just because he can.
Just because he can. We like showing
Yeah.
him off.
yeah, we do four whistles on a free sister gig.
Oh, but I think there's an awful lot of power in the tin whistle being played like that,
yeah.
though, isn't there?
Totally. Like Mary Bergen is just an icon of Irish music. Like some people think you start on the whistle, but you know, that doesn't mean it's only just a wee gateway. Like
It doesn't demean it.
yeah.
It shouldn't demean it, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a powerful instrument, and it's one that like it complements songs so well. It's something that we always come back to, and the fact that like, you know, everybody has one in the house nearly. Like it'd be hard to find a house without a tin whistle in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah.
Or under the
Up
couch.
home, anywhere. Just make sure you don't pick one up full of spiders. I've been there before.
And then you play the uilleann pipes.
Yeah.
They're your main instrument. So why were you drawn to the pipes? Because that wouldn't be mainly in the Donegal tradition.
No, not really. Though we're getting there. We've got lots of young pipers
You're
playing
always
now.
the advocate. I love it.
Oh, we're
Just
getting
love
there.
it.
Just collecting all the flip players and fiddle players and just converting them slowly.
Come,
Conversion
when I
therapy.
show you.
But no, we were brought up listening to the Bothy Band and Planksty, and you know, just they were a huge influence on us because our family were in Glasgow. Like Granny would have played the fiddle, but that next generation then that were brought up in Glasgow, like Mum, they would have been musical, but they wouldn't necessarily have played instruments or have been given the chance to play instruments in the way that we did. And I suppose it was all kind of house dances and house sessions and songs and things. Like when we would go back, or when they would go back to Glasgow, it was almost like mournful the night before they'd leave. They would sing and everybody had one song, and you know, so there was a real singing tradition in all of our crowd, and fiddle, but the fiddle would have been passed round. There would only be a few fiddles really per household, but so we were always well connected with songs and fiddle music, but the pipes just they were just played to us from such an early age. Like mum always at the bothy band and thanks to going. So when I heard them, I was just addicted to the sound of them. And I think kind of being in a certain type of isolation with piping, like there weren't that many people in Scotland. And it turns out they actually were. They hadn't really come together much yet. But it kind of in my own wee lane, do my own thing. I didn't really realise, like, you know, there's not that many girls playing, or there's not that, you know, that never ever dawned on me. And it's kind of something that I love, that it's not a feature. Like, I hate being called a female piper. You know, I'm a piper. I don't really understand this distinction that we always get, but you know, it's a magical instrument. Like, I almost
Contrary.
I'm nearly like, why would you not all want to play the pipes?
Do you have to be a wee bit stubborn to play the pipes, Sheila?
Am I stubborn?
I do wonder, because you have so much to master. You know, it's a really intricate instrument, and there's so much going on. And what is it they say? It takes 21 years to master playing the uilleann pipes. So, you know, you've got to be determined, and a bit of determination sometimes comes a bit of stubbornness. Couple of focail inis ó lucht áirithe na seachtain seo Music at Maddens. Some words from our sponsors this week on the podcast, and they say there's music in every pint. Smithwick's has been brewed in Kilkenny since 1710. It carries centuries of craft, a ruby red ale with notes of caramel, roasted malt, poured smooth and rich, and it's the taste that's been part of Irish sessions for generations, where stories are told and music is made. So whether you're at Maddens or listening from home, raise a glass and let the tradition play on. Smithwick's is brewed true and shared together, and please drink responsibly, for over 18s only.
Oh, well.
Síle Friel. Take it.
I like to suffer for my art, you know. Oh no, they torture you, but sure, that's the crack. Like, that's what makes them. Like, when they go well, it's like the stars have aligned, and you just feel like you're on fire, because you know they're not always going well. I'll be the first to say it. And I think that's kind of one of the first things that you have to, like, if anyone learning the pipes, you've kind of got to be comfortable with them not sounding brilliant all the time. Like, they're not always going to be completely in tune. Like, play the piano if you want to play something that's going to be predictably in tune. You know, it's like that. It's those in-between notes.
Yeah.
Like, that's where the crack is.
And that's where the magic is.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the you know, the instruments that aren't always in tune. We'll go to Cathal and talk about the banjo next. But just to come back to the point you made there about a female piper, you're a piper, and that you'd learned this instrument because you were just completely, like, fuyasa, you were completely under its spell, and you know, regardless of what was going on outside or the noise. But I wonder then, whenever you did discover, say, other women who had played the pipes or were playing the pipes, was there a bit of magic in that for you?
Oh, totally. Yeah, we've got such a lovely gang. Like, particularly there's a group of female pipers in, it says me using the word now, but in America, like, they've got this lovely wee group that play, and they're so encouraging to each other, and there's like a sisterhood of piping there. But we do have that here as well, but it's kind of, we don't maybe have to be as blunt about it. Like, we love meeting up together, and like, what I love about it is there's absolutely nothing competitive, you know. Like, all of the other girls who are starting, like, you just really look out for them, and like, because I suppose there weren't that many, but like I said, there's so many now, and I think that's really thanks to the people uilleann. They've done so much to advocate, to the point that sometimes I would almost get that, like, is this positive discrimination? Do I deserve to be in this place where I am now? Or, because we used to have a running joke, like, their magazine, their quarterly magazine, we'd say, oh, you either have to be dead or be a girl to be on the cover. But like, if you can't see it, you can't be it. And I totally get what they were doing, and it's been very subtle with how they've approached it. You know, they're never making it a real big song and dance. But just recently we brought out Moran Lippy Volume 2. So myself, Louise Mulcahy, Jane Walls, Lottie Cut, loads of papers on it. And Volume 1 was brought out about 2 years ago. And it's just nice to have some of the maybe other female players who maybe aren't at the forefront as much. Like they're fantastic musicians, and it's great to get a chance to showcase them, because, you know, people just see the instrument and they do assume it's more of a, like, I suppose there's a lot of like engineering and geeky bits and bobs, but that doesn't mean it's not for girls.
No, it's like unfortunately it's an instrument that has been quite gendered down through the generations, hasn't it? But then, you know, with that determination as well, you're always an advocate. It's one of those instruments where you're wanting other people to pick it up and wanting people to understand the magic that you've got out of it. Then, you know, are you always conscious that you're helping girls, that you don't want them to give up because you understand how difficult it is, and you're just like, no, come on, keep going, you've got this.
Oh yeah, because like even at home, for like, I almost got a bit annoyed at home. It felt like girls play music, boys play football, like, and that's not right. And it got to the stage where like all of the pipers coming out of Gweedore, all the wee teenagers were coming down to Milltown, and they were like, there's no boys in my class. But I just never had thought, you know, I didn't need to say to them, oh, by the way, there's not going to be many of you, you know, because it's like, well, there will be, and there's more and more coming. But like, I think there's such a fraternity in piping, and it's not like, take the gender completely out of it. Like, it's a difficult instrument, and you need a lot of help to get started. And like, I would have had one man who showed me the scales in Scotland, and lovely man, Liam Hackett, but he, like, you know, he didn't really necessarily give me the technique or repertoire. He gave me recommendations of where to go, and, you know, to join the Peabrillin and different things like that. And I would go to all of the channels, and I would try and make as many of the events as I could, and they would always do a young pipers event before the owl ones now ourselves. But they would always have the young pipers playing first, so it gave you, like, I remember the first kind of concert I had to play, it was over in Henrietta Street in Dublin, and NPU got me over to play, and it was like, that was such an honour, and that was such a thing to practice for, you know. But then when I got there, I didn't even realise you're sitting down, how are your drones going, let me have a look at that read, and they're going through the set for you, and they're actually doing just a wee one-on-one check-in with you. You might think you're playing a concert, but you're not. They're just drawing you in.
So much more. And I'm laughing when you said about girls play music and boys play football. She put an end to his career. I know. Sick.
They just need to send more our way.
Does it come to the dog side? So the banjo, how did you become Cathal banjo? Take us through the evolution of Cathal banjo.
Many faces off.
Well, I suppose it started with the classes first, going to Niall Hackett, playing the mandolin, and then, now I was still very small when I had a banjo. It was twice the size of me.
So
I
cute.
remember that.
So cute.
But I suppose that'd be my frastal there at na sauna, and I remember Ronan Igitri and...
So this is Ronan Mackey, who was a renowned broadcaster on Radio na Gaeltachta, and talk about a supporter of young people and music as well. If he sussed out that you had a talent, that was it. You were toast.
Yeah.
Because he was going to pursue you to make sure that you kept that up.
Definitely, and he kind of caught me in their actus, and he I think just while introducing me to play one of my pieces, and I think I might have even been playing the mandolin, but he called me Cathal banjo, and from then on it stuck, and everyone calls me Cathal banjo. Even when people go home now, like, they might, and I'm not about it, and they're trying to make a connection with somebody. Oh, do you know Cathal Curráin? They're like, who? And it's like, oh, Cathal banjo. Oh yeah, I sure know Cathal banjo well. Like, but like, that's just how it is. But on the topic of Ronan there, we were so lucky to have someone like him in the parish as well. There's one thing of having an Crannog and Hudies, but to push yourself to more professional level, to be playing on stage and getting ready for sound checking and doing a gig, and getting 15-minute slots to kind of play 3 pieces at the highest level that you possibly could. Ronan gave us that opportunity to do that, on whether it was on Radio na Gaeltachta or at the Cabaret Crackalches. And anytime he was going around the country to Cabaret Crackalche, doing it elsewhere, he would always bring people from home, and we were really lucky. And Crannog, myself, the likes of Emma Need, Ishke Fosle, all got put under Ronan's wing, and we wouldn't be playing music, I think, professionally. We might have maybe done it. Now, I might have done it because of the girls anyway, because they
drag you along.
Drag me along.
You've no choice.
But Ronan was definitely Michelle Larnach, Adeve, and Kid Kiamilla. And it's so important for young musicians, even getting the young people to play a tune on the pipes, you know, before the main act. It's just gives young people such a focus to kind of zone on their trade and practice properly.
It's lovely that you say that, because today here in Maddens, as you both came in to record this podcast today, like, just to give people a flavour of what goes on in this bar. Yes, it's a bar. Yes, there's drinks sold. But at the heart of everything here is music. And downstairs at the minute, there's youngsters practicing for next Sunday night when they're going to be playing a gig in here, because they've been given that opportunity to do 3 or 4 numbers, and they're taking it so seriously that they're sitting down there with their mammies. The mammies are there guiding them along, because they've been pushed out of the comfort zone tonight or next week doing different things. And like, that support of parents, just how important is that to have got you where you are now? Like, because Cathal, you're coming from a perspective of having music in the family, growing up with it, but mostly songs. But then when it came to learning instruments, you know, you would have needed the parents to give you the lifts over. Like, let's face it, public transport is not all that in Donegal.
No, definitely not.
No. What's that?
What?
Bus feed that. John McGinley, Gallagher's, and that's about the height of it.
I guess PJ Joe Jack.
Get them all mentioned.
No, PJ would have given me the lifts over and back the roads.
And you were so bold.
Was I?
PJ would say, right, that's it now. The last tune.
That wasn't me.
That was kind of us as well, I suppose. PJ would stand up and say, right, come on. And then, okay, one last tune. So Cathal would
this
start.
Is 1 o'clock.
This is
1 o'clock. Yeah, and he'd try to get me out the door because he wanted to go home, obviously.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. It's 1 o'clock.
He would start a reel, and then he'd kind of come to near the end of the set, but we didn't want him leaving, so we would put on a reel, and then Kieran Minnie might see the same, and we'd all just throw
add another
40 reels or something one night.
And it was Garage Minnie was probably one of the people who would have pushed that. He's like, just can you go? Nah, stop. And you could see once we're going into the 10th reel, my father going, he'd actually go out of the pub and sit in the car to wait for me.
So I would say, fair to say, your daddy has the patience of a saint.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. But you see, even that idea of, you know, going to the session and knowing that you're going there and people will be looking to you to, you know, start a tune or play a tune. Was that focus more important than competitions, say, to get you to practice, you know, to keep you going?
Definitely, because you have to keep up with the tunes that they're playing in the session, and so you might be learning a set amount of tunes at classes, but it might not be kind of cross over to the tunes that are played at the session. No, normally they do, but sometimes then when you're learning session tunes, and now Garage was the one who was always sitting beside me in a session, and I'd always want to sit beside Garage because he was always good crack, but he'd always like say, before I play a set of tunes, he'd always say to me, he's like, play something I haven't heard before. And I was maybe just, he probably has heard them before, but he's just trying to get me to think of something new. And then it gave me an incentive every week to, like, have to have something out of the comfort zone, and I have to have something new learned for next week. Whether that was a tune or a song or whatever it was. So, yeah, it's an institution, really.
Yeah, well, we'd be the same. Like, you wouldn't dare come to Donegal without having had a new set of tunes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, at that age, we thought it was so important to keep coming with something new and something fresh. So nobody probably even remembered what we had played before, but particularly when it came to singing, like, it got to the stage where we were learning so many songs because we were trying to come back with something new, you know, as often as we could. Every 2-3 weeks we try and have something new. I couldn't keep that output up now. I could find it hard to learn a song a year at this stage. But we would leave Glasgow and we would start singing, and then we'd get to the boat, so that's a 1 hour 45 journey, and then we'd be on the boat doing our homework, and then we would get off in Belfast and sing the whole way to Donegal. So it got to the stage we used to have an incredible like catalogue of songs, but it was like you sang them on the way over to kind of practice them. If I couldn't do that now, I'd burn my voice.
John Friel's Ascent as well.
Oh yeah. Dad would drive us
everywhere.
Anyway, like if he heard there was a session in Malin-Head, I remember that before. He used to take us up to a show.
What is it in parents who do that they do that for their kids? Because, you know, they're not alone. There's so many parents like that right across the country.
Yeah, like John Walls driving Jane up and down to
I was thinking of him. He was exactly the man I was thinking of. And but they've absolutely no problem with doing that for the kids, because they see, well, they must be getting something out of it as well.
Yeah.
They have to be.
But I think as well, like, you know, you can do all your practicing. Like, if you're practicing for the flag, that's great. Well done. Keep that up. But like, if you have your 2 tunes, that's not really going to get you far. Whereas if you're really taking it seriously, you're learning as much as you can, and you have to take it out there somewhere. And I suppose they must hear us practicing at home, and you know, then it's like giving us that chance to showcase those new tunes and new songs and things, because like at the end of the day, like the tradition doesn't exist if we don't meet up.
Yeah,
you could be the best player at home, and that's great, but like it's a dying tradition if we don't come out and play music together. And like that, like we'd be anywhere at the drop of a hat because of the way we were brought up with that importance.
It's instinctive. You don't even think about it.
No, you don't. Like, I was in Glenties till 4:30 last night, and here I am now in Belfast. But sure, I was meeting Danny Meehan. Like, you do these things. But that was put in us as kids. You know, whereas I could see a lot of other people thinking, oh, that's silly and that's nonsense, and, you know, wasting their time. Whereas it's like, it's that they were so selfless with us that it gave us that drive and that opportunity to go out and play everywhere. And it's now, okay, I'm in Glenties last night and here and there, but like we were in Spain a few weeks ago. You know, you take that, you travel as much as you can and to play as much as you can, because it's that connection. Like during COVID, I hardly played really, because then I realised, like, I'd love to think I love music because I love music, and I do, but I love the crack. And that's why I love music. And like when you took the people out of it, it wasn't that fun anymore.
But you two, like, honestly, you are so infectious, and you always have been. There's always, no matter, honestly, it is. It's that wee Donegal. There's the wee glint, and you just know there's crack in these ones.
Tapped.
No, but I love it about you, and it's like, no matter where you go. Like the first thing today, but we were coming in to record this podcast today, Cathal saying, "Where do you see this?" And he shows me this video of Sheila falling off a chair, which broke on stage, and when you were doing a gig in Spain,
and she kept playing.
That has to be one of the funniest moments in the past few years on stage.
Everybody else would be mortified, and you're still laughing.
We might have to make it a podcast exclusive and give you the footage.
Yeah, it's not gone online yet. I don't believe you. Yeah, this is because it was only when I was in Glenties last night I realised, geez, nobody's seen this apart from ourselves.
You're joking.
And my dental nurses.
Okay, this is the clip. This is going to be the clip.
This is it. This is it. Subscriber content here. Me lying on the floor playing the pipes.
But you know what though? What I took out of that was you didn't stop playing, and neither did the band either.
No,
it's just so funny.
The only person in the band that did was
Grant.
You know, he came over straight away, just put a chair down and just walked away. Whereas Anna, my twin, she couldn't play. She's a flute player, so she just laughed. She literally bent over.
For some reason, we tried to sing a song after that, and we were all still laughing.
Murdered it. We absolutely murdered it. I'm so sorry to anyone that had to listen to us. And I love that set, but we just couldn't. And then we were to do two more pieces. We just said, nah, call it quits. We did one more and got off stage.
And you know, whenever you painted a lovely picture there of you and Anna and Claire singing songs in the car, coming over back and forth from Glasgow. So was it inevitable that you were going to start a band together? You were going to just continue to play music together?
I don't think we ever necessarily like thought of the band thing. I think we would have got a better name if we had. But it just kind of happened. You know, we were playing gigs, you know, maybe gigs over here, or maybe the wee St. Patrick's Day thing, something like that in Glasgow. And it just naturally, we started thinking more about arrangements and things like that. Mm-hmm. And then really it's what we were doing for years was just what you would see us doing in the pub. Like we really like our first album is lightly arranged songs with just 3 tunes, you know, going through them, like just playing it as we would always. And then as we started to tour a bit more and kind of play on
and you had Hughy's stalwart switches that like with Garage and Seamus O'Kane and
like we were really lucky with the musicians that agreed to go into the studio with us when we were just so green. But like that's the best part about it, is that it was just a snapshot of that piece in time.
How central has someone like Mairead Ní Waoine been to everything you've done.
Oh.
Both of you. Like, she's such a massive influence
Central
on
in everything.
the younger
Yeah.
musicians, isn't she?
Yes, she
and
is.
Mairead is the founder member of Alton. Alton's celebrating 40 years this year, which is incredible. And she still looks like a teenager. She's
Yeah.
just a goddess. But you know, she's always given back and taken
Yep.
the next generation with her.
Like, she's smashed ceilings and she's climbed, but she's thrown a ladder down for the rest of us. Like, that's what I love about Mairead. Like, you know, she takes everyone with her. And, like, it doesn't, it's totally selfless in that way. Like, you know, it's just the encouragement and just, I suppose we all recognise that mad spark and we're all drawn to each other. But, like, that, believe it or not, we were shy kids. Like, the three of us were shy, which is hilarious. But, you know, it's people like Mairead and Garage, her brother, Kieran's dad. Like, they've been so good to us. And I suppose, like, Francie, like, they're just continuing their father's legacy. Like, Francie, when we were kids, Kitty used to call us Francie's girls because we come in late to the session and then we do the same. Leaving on a Sunday, we would leave from the session to the boat. And we would drive overnight, the 3 o'clock boat, and then we'd miss the first class or two of school, which maybe wasn't the best thing to do, but sure, we got there. But, you know, when Francie passed away, like, he was such a lifeline to all of us coming into sessions. You know, we didn't necessarily have all the Donegal tunes in Glasgow. We had some, but Francie would play them just like 5 and 6 times over until it must have driven the other musicians insane, but like, he wouldn't stop playing it till he thought we had a good handle on the tune. And so like they've had that, like, he was a beacon of light and they're just all shining from that same light. Like, it's really special that they continue his legacy like that.
Tá sin galanta arát agus go sé fuitse chathal.
Dá hearna. I mean, le Mairead, tá sí gcónaí smuoite ar a bhála, ní meiste caiitiúil sí na tá sí sála, tá sí go sásta go deama chóirt danne bí a chóirtú, go hariad even ceáil mu a danne I geirí bheith fólam tá sí sásta am chóirtaid agus bhuair anna chóirtaid na to chorage rá in and we're just so lucky to have her in the area, and whether it's tunes or songs, and she has abundance of both, and yeah, it's tubar goni agus tá sé inta go sí in sin leis an a rinslin mar she didn't go Gillardinian, but you're not running go gasta ach Mairead ní look at that ceiste her agus tá sí sásta which yeah.
She's the hardest working part. Like, there's just it's all go. And Claire, my younger sister, she's in Alton now, so like we see a wee bit more behind the scenes. I'm like, how do they keep up with that schedule? Like, it's just, you know, that's just they've never tired of the road. You know, they're really they've really put themselves out there. Like, it must after 40 years, like, you'd think that they would be, you know, exhausted at this stage, but it's only getting better and better.
I sensed that. I was talking to her recently and I did sense that from her, that she's just, it's a new dawn for Alton. You know, the Claire's in the band now, that's given new energy. It's exciting for her to you know, whenever new people come in, they do bring something different, don't they?
Definitely.
Change dynamics and all the rest of it. And I think it's just another chapter in a long, beautiful book, which I hope continues to be written, because you know, we've all benefited from it. And I think also, you know, up in your part of the world as well, the songs, what I always loved going to see Alton concerts was when Mairead would say, I got this song from a cousin, or you know, who she got it from. She was standing, they just burst into song. Cathal Jasog, I always love the story of that one. The cousin just singing it in the kitchen. Mairead said, that's a gorgeous song. But you have that equally that well in your own family as well, Cathal, where you've singers in your family and you've got songs from them that you've recorded.
I suppose it kind of all stemmed, a lot of it stemmed from Teach Joe Jack in Mahara Galan, and Francie and my grandfather Joe Jack and Francie Mooney would have played in the house after school, where the Moonies would go down and spend time with our my granny Nellie Denny agus which the Ceol Wooden agus Shinim Ceol, and then Nellie's brother Jimmy Denny we Shitchiness Clash, and they had a wealth of songs as well, and kind of the Moonies and the Joe Jackson were all kind of there in the same areas, whether Moira Gala Nagus Clash, but this is Dola Moa Janchini, I guess it's my Jonquil, the Curráin with Ovigeshakla, and then from having family parties, listen to them sing the same songs that they got from their parents, and learning them.
I know you've got loads of songs in Irish, but there was one song in English you had, which you recorded with the Conifers.
The Road to Donegal.
That song is just amazing. Like, I don't know what there is about it, Cathal, but I just want to listen to that. Around June time, I want to just put it on, because to me, going to Donegal was summer to me all my life. Whenever I was going up to the Gaeltacht, and I would have basically happily packed the bags and then lived there for 2 months. My mother wouldn't have sang me, and that song captured it all, the magic, and whatever it was the draw, just that draw that Donegal had.
Yeah, and I arranged that with a good friend of mine, Marty Barry from Banbridge, when I was living in Limerick. But it was a song that was written by a journalist called Hugh Jordan as well. I think he might be from Belfast or Glasgow himself, but he would have spent a lot of time in Donegal. And my uncle heard Hugh sing it in the Dodge, and learned it from him, and then started singing it at family parties. And I just was so drawn to it because of the connection between Glasgow and Donegal.
Yeah.
That whole connection and that bus journey home. Is just.
It's an absolute anthem
for everybody who travels Donegal, but like particularly the Glasgow diaspora. Like there's such a huge connection there, and it's like, it really is. It just details exactly what we've all been doing for generations at this stage.
Although it was sung in Hudie's one night, and somebody did say, "It's like, geez, you took a long road to get home."
Why you didn't go around the back road? No one takes the front road round Errigal.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And extra magic that it was learned from someone singing in the Dodge as well.
I know,
because his parents got married in the Dodge. Our parents got married in the Dodge. We launched our last album there in the Dodge.
The Dodge being the nightclub, social spot, heading down towards Maharagala.
Cultural institution at this stage.
Never closes.
I love that. Many relationships began there, I would say, over the years.
Probably ended too.
Oh, we're painting a picture.
Many's a good fight I saw outside the Dodge.
Oh my gosh. Down to the Graham Gasta for the Chip. Those were the days, boys.
They're still going.
Oh my gosh, so funny. You mentioned Marty Barry there, long-time collaborator, and I know he's played with the Friel sisters as well. Like you're all, you find all these wonderful friendships, and then you're all playing together, and everybody's chipping in, and it just enriches the product that you're bringing. And yourself, Cathal, collaboration is just, it seems to be really who you are. Like you thrive on it. What do you get out of it?
Well, to be honest, I much prefer playing with other people than I prefer playing solo. The likes of playing with the girls on the road, it's bringing a piece of home on the road, and you're always at home when we're together, but then also with other people. Lady Kathleen Nicholas Kieran, and I played as well with Aoife Scott for a long time, which I absolutely loved, being on the road with her and her band, and the Conifers as well, and who else was it? There's plenty more probably. Blanahoige, and then Arnoila Marty. Just anywhere that's I can see that if there's a friendship and a song and a tune, I want to be playing with them, and people who have the same interests. Gaelic and Gaelic and Fasta. Some people who have the language, and people who have kind of a shared connection, maybe not exactly the same, but when we come together in one place and be able to create together and kind of draw on those connections is just always really special.
And to everything you've just mentioned, Pearse O'Larkin was on the podcast recently, and he spoke about his experience with Blanahoige, which was a project brought together for a TV series for TG Cahar, bringing together up and coming talent, young Irish speakers from all over the country, Gaeltacht areas, non-Gaeltacht areas, just talented young people. And I wondered, how special was it for you, given everything you've just said there, but how proud you are to be from Donegal, of Irish, of the music of Donegal, to bring Seolta Gala to that ensemble, and for them to learn from you about your pocket of the tradition, and then for all of you to contribute to that production of that song. How powerful was that?
It was really special. Yeah, that song, I can remember my first time on stage singing that song was at Remembrance concert for Francie Mooney in 2007, where Clan Joe Jack and Clonny Weenie and the Divers and were all on stage together, and we did a full concert of Francie Mooney songs, and I was like 8 or 9 years of age, and I wasn't really part of the concert, only for I learned all the songs at home listening to my dad singing them, and eventually I got drafted in because I knew all the words anyway. So, but to be able to take it from that context and to share something from home, Lahusson, Heath and Studio Curráin, was absolutely special, and even to get to know all of them on a personal level as well, and kind of the shared backgrounds that we all had in songs and rooted in families, and coming from Gaeltacht areas, I guess from strong backgrounds. Yeah, we should just that right.
Yeah, so powerful that you've now moved to Indrawan. Now you're living down there. So that's how strong it was.
Yeah.
Now you look back a bit. Sorry, Becky.
Yeah, to mention blian Gleish number sin. So
do you speak Irish down there at all? Does anybody understand you?
Nobody understands me. Tim Shan the Shopper agus Lord of Gaelic Laws Lotus at the Barrel of Ash. But no, I must say we have a strong Ulster contingent down Tiwali now on a Thursday night. La Barry Kerr agus Le Philomene O'Connor agus couple Daniela, but
Hup.
Yeah, so
flying the flag.
Yeah, we're all attracted to those glints, I suppose.
Notice it's all the fellas who all ended up down in Indrawan. I wonder who's got the power.
The women are ruling the wrist in Donegal. Nothing new there.
And speaking of women ruling the race, like with the Friel sisters, and you've both spoken there about how infectious the Donegal music is, the people are, and all the rest, and how proud you are of this heritage that you have. When you travel around the world, do you almost feel ambassadorial? Like, are you always flying the flag?
Oh
like,
God, we'd be in trouble if that's the case.
Definitely.
In fairness, if there wasn't devilment, you'd be disappointed.
Oh, aye.
Totally. No, we just I know we just go around enjoying ourselves, really. Like, I know, and there is a serious element in that, we like people to see a truer side of Irish music in a way, because it's not all like shillelaghs and when we go to America, that's sometimes a bit of a battle.
It is.
Do you know? And it's like, you could really you could take offense sometimes nearly if you were as stubborn as I am. No, but it's kind of they really want this connection to Ireland a lot of the time, and even not just America, like anywhere we go abroad, and even at home as well, because especially when we're so rooted in the Gaeltacht, sometimes you might be playing elsewhere that maybe is not as strong Gaelic culture, and that everybody just wants to feel that wee bit of authenticity, and I think that's what we're trying to do is it's not something we've sat down and planned out, and we've not been methodical. We've not sat down with a mission statement or anything. We've just literally a bunch of mates playing music together that comes from it comes from our area and our family, and it's Francie and Joe Jackson, everyone, they go back, our granny would have been good friends with Baba Brennan and everyone in that area, so it's I think they would love to look now if they could see us and think, God, it's just all of their mates just a couple of generations down the line just doing the same things, singing the same songs.
Yeah,
but okay, we're bringing them slightly different arrangements, and we are bringing some new songs into it. It's a living tradition. It shouldn't be archival. People might think that we're a wee bit stubborn like that, but
you are.
Well, we are. But Marty Barry and people, they made me more open-minded. I'm bad when Marty Barry's made me open-minded. But no, it's just something that's kind of fallen on us a bit, and we do take it seriously though, and it's a real pleasure to travel with our culture. You know, we see areas of different countries that you wouldn't see as a tourist. You know, we'll get brought in and be fed and treated, you know, so well, and we get to see the real people. We don't see the tourist side of things when we travel with music. And you know, I think they recognize in us like an authenticity that, you know, that's what we're looking for in their culture too. So it's lovely, like when we do get to that these doors have opened for us to be allowed to do this. Yeah. And like I said, it's a bit of luck, but it's also hard work, and it's also like not being afraid just to be stubborn too. Like, you know, I know there's a certain sound that might sell better, we'd have more albums sold and stuff, but like, you know, it's not that I don't really care, but it's like I care more about what came before us than about what it could look like now.
You're being true to yourself too, if that's what you're into. That that's when you're at your most authentic. That's how you're going to truly connect. Yeah. And from, you know, taking Donegal on tour, as it were, in the international setting, then Cathal, you in part of your work as the director of the Scoileavry, which is the winter school, which happens in Gweedore. I always loved the way it was put, Idir and Da Nollaig. So it's in between the two Christmases, which is the 25th of December and the 6th of January. So there's a week there where Gweedore literally comes alive. It does. And it doesn't matter what the weather is like. People will make their way to Gweedore for that week, and have done since 1994, wasn't it? Was the first one in memory of Frankie Kennedy, and then it has developed. So what's it like now for you to have, like, this must be huge for you?
It is, and hugely important, because it's such a central part to the parish now, because of the work of the likes of Anne Mooney, Conor Byrne, Corham and Furbury Gweedore in recent years, Agus Cloney Winnie, what they've brought to the parish for 30 years, and what they've done for music in the area, bringing top quality music to our area, and bringing people from all over the world, fans of Alton, fans of Frankie Kennedy, and now a Scoileavry Gweedore. It's just grown and grown every year, from our workshops to our classes, and our concerts as well. It's just a really special time of year. Every pub filled with music, whether it's Hudy's or Chachleo or the distillery or the social now or Clongweedore, na Chajacker or Lashi Fasta. It's just really, really special. For between the 27th of December to the 1st of January, it's just non-stop music.
And the New Year's Eve bash as well was always legendary.
It was.
Back in the days where Seamus Begley, God rest him, was in charge, and it was Austin Gweedore was flying, and just that down in that bunker. Oh my gosh, the memories, it's just unbelievable. But you know, is there pressure to keep that momentum up, particularly for the New Year's Eve?
Definitely. You want people to have a good time and to be able to go out and dance and just celebrate together with musicians and friends. I don't think I'd want to spend New Year's Eve any other way. To do it with musicians and going to some of the Cairn Music Concert, just all in the one place. It's absolutely special, and we're so lucky even that this house here, At Maddens, is such a big supporter of the festival now as well. And but yeah, New Year's Eve, and it often has that Kerry connection still, even with Begley gone to Maven Begley la Cuas and Super Kelly as well. So it'll be absolutely hopping until the early morning, until New Year's Day. So we're really looking forward to it.
So Cathal Curráin now party planner.
Party planner. Yeah.
Extraordinary.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're in safe hands.
Yeah.
I'd say, well, do you know what? Everything's in safe hands with the two of you. This has been class. Thanks so much for taking the time to come down and have the chats with us today. And we didn't even mention the teeth, Sheila.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Didn't get there. Yeah, Sheila is a dentist. And I was saying to her earlier that I just wanted to conduct the interview like this. Not what you're looking at me teeth.
No, I just couldn't believe it. Even in Spain, somebody came up to me there after me falling off the chair, and she said, "You're my dentist." Like, there's always a patient somewhere, and as long as they like the music, we're all good.
Tunes rocking in the dentist whenever you're getting your teeth seen to by Sheila. Come here, go to Míle Maigh Bartas of Uilleann. Míle Buíochas.